but we'll try again. I'm live. I got to bring my computer back up. Okay. Seems like we are live now again. Okay, well, sorry guys. Don't know what happened, but the signal just disappeared. Hi, Paul. Good morning to you. Well, hopefully we'll get through this. You know, just you and me, I think, right now, but we'll see if we can get through this. I'm going to keep turning. This is going. Looks like I need to fix those little circles too. I'm not going to let those too much. We'll just kind of go with it as best we can. Clean off a little bit. Just nice and flat. That's the biggest thing. I want to make sure it's flat again. Okay. All right, I'm just going to give this a real quick sanding to try and take off any little finishes that we got here, and then we can turn this around and get going on it. And then we're going to go into the plums that I got up for today. That feels pretty good. Okay. Going up another level. And this time we're going to go ahead and put a little finish on it. Yeah, that's nice and smooth. Okay. Let's put a little bit of finish on that. Let's see what we got here. Hey, Tim. Good seeing you. Sorry, the first one kind of died off. Hi, Sherry. How you doing, CJ? Yeah, the first one, I don't know what happened. We lost the connection. If we lose the connection again, I will come back on. I promise. I don't know what caused it. We had, let me go get this put up. We had a little issue this week. We're having our whole front yard completely torn out and completely redone. And as they're doing that, even though they had it marked, the guys managed to cut my cable line. So I was without cable. So that meant we couldn't do our live as expected. So I had to wait for the cable company to come out and reestablish a connection. Well, they came out and they reestablished a connection, but I'm not sure if I'm getting as good of a connection as I had before. So that's why when it cut out there a little bit, I wasn't completely surprised. Well, this is just really eating this up as fast as I'm putting it on here. For a wet piece of wood, this is very hungry for moisture. Kind of funny. Think that it wouldn't be sucking it in, but it is. I can't even get around brushing it before it's all gone. So here it's where it's light and dark, where it just sucked it in and didn't even give me a chance to brush it on. Pretty wood, a little plain, but it's very pretty wood. This will slow down the drying process a little bit of the wood. And that will help me maybe control it a little bit more after we've got it turned into a mold. I'll be microwaving this to get some more of the moisture out after we turn it. And we'll probably put it in a nice dark place in a bag with some shavings just to kind of control that too and see if we can't keep this from warping out. I don't think it's going to crack. It doesn't have any signs of cracking on this one. Some of the ones we got later on, they have definite signs of cracking because it was very twisted wood. So there we go. That's just one brushing on of this, and it's already dry. See there? It's already dry. It's not even coming off on the cloth. But let me just put that on there. That's all I could get off of there. That little bit. So it's really sucking it in. And I think I want to brush on just a little bit more before we go on because it will change tone slightly too. And all this goes in and dry, and it hardens and strengthens the wood fibers. And that's always a good thing too. Hi Anton, and hi everybody else. Now Anton, I guess, was the last one. Good morning, guys. Welcome in. It's a nice Saturday morning. Anybody have plans for Father's Day tomorrow? I'm sure some of you are fathers or have fathers or whatnot. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Take this off, and we'll remove the screws. And yeah, I'm kind of locked into my house right now because They redid all the concrete, including my driveway and everything else, and my front porch. So I have no real way of getting out of my house until the concrete's cured. And they stained it with a stain that has to sit for a few days. So I'm basically having to do calisthenics to get in and out of my house, which isn't the best way of doing things, but that's what it is. Okay, that's a nice tight fit. Hope that fits good. Oh yeah, that's spinning real good. Okay. So yeah, we got a really nice tight fit here. Should be able to turn the inside of this bowl. I'm going to change this out. And I think I'll use this one. See how close we get with that. Pretty close to the center. Okay, I think so. Okay, let me get my mask. Start this up. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Got 50 people in here. If you'd please hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. Or if you'd like to subscribe, that's always appreciated too. Coming a little bit higher. And a little bit closer. Yeah. You can hear down now. It's like, there. The question becomes, how thin of a bowl do you want to make? This is kind of where you decide. I think about 1/4 of an inch would be just about right. Should be about right. And I think I'm going to have to lower this just a little more. Turn it up. And pick up the speed just a little bit more. There we go. Nice shavings there. And I may switch gouges here, but I'll give this another run. Whoa, that gets hot. A lot of friction there. Whoa. Sorry about that. That was my fault. Totally my fault there. Sorry about that. Okay. Gonna switch to this one. I'm gonna take this out of my way here so I don't hit it. My back end hit my tailstock, and that's what caused that. So get the tailstock off the table here. Like to push it back. That's a centrifugal force pushing your blade back. Let's just kind of take a little peek here and clean off the bed here a bit. Take a little peek at what we got going. Pretty clear wood. There's a couple of knots right in here. Nothing big. Here. He's good on your grapefruit. Yeah. Well, what? This is elm. This was a local piece that somebody was had to cut down out of their I guess their backyard, and this is what happened. So, somebody else's trash is my gain, right? So that's what I did. I said I'll take it. I turned a bowl for them. Now I'm turning a couple bowls for me. And actually, a couple other woodworker friends of mine came down, and they got quite a few pieces also. But I don't know if they've tried turning any of it yet, since it was very green when we got it. But you have to be kind of careful as you're doing this, because you got to make sure that you're keeping your angle matching the outside of the bowl. Keeps wanting to kick that out, though. You got to be careful how you keep the point of your blade engaged. I probably need to sharpen this. It looks like I do. Without getting the real pretty curls. But I think I'll sharpen this real quick. Right here. It takes a moment. Probably just a little bit more than this. You want that secondary angle right there to help you pull into the bowl. Let's see how this does now. get that centrifugal force kickback, but I'm not trying to force the wood. Yeah. It's all end grain right here too, so that's what you're cutting into is also your end grain. Quite a continuous ribbon there. Ah, just wants to keep kicking it out. All right. Let's see why it's doing that. You know what? I'm gonna do this just to see what it does with the gouge, with the carbide. I think you can be pretty aggressive with this carbide. You still want to dig in. It's that soft wood is what it is. What I was suspecting it was. This is green and it's a relatively soft wood, so it tends to be a little bit of a snagging or grabbing as you turn it. Okay. We'll get a little of this cleaned out of here. Sorry. My face shield getting in your way a little bit of your view. See if I can move that over just a little. Okay. Oh, I see. It looked like a grapefruit at speed. I see what you're saying. Okay. I see what you're saying. I think I'm going to turn this down a little bit, like so. A little closer to my work. I'm not sure why that's wobbly up there at the top. I want to make sure I'm keeping that same 1/4 inch all the way down. It's a little bit off. We'll have to scrape that out when we get closer to the end here. a big chunk right there. I'm still in your way, aren't I? Guys, I'm gonna have to change the angle of this somehow so I'm out of your way completely. There. Now you're not looking at my head so much. Okay. A little lip right here I have to take out. Yeah, I'm just out of curiosity. I want to see what the moisture content is down here. It's 21%. This is really wet. Science, I'm not even sure I can get a reading on it. But right here it's 22% now. Yeah, so it's very wet wood. We're removing a lot of wet wood, and if we're not careful, it will warp when we are finished. So I'm gonna have to be really careful with this piece. Probably will get a little dimpling in the bottom. Where are we now? We are right about here. We probably need to get down about another quarter inch or so to get down into the bottom. Okay. I think from here, yeah, you can feel the coolness and moisture in this shavings. They're not wet, they're not dripping. Like I've had some that actually were maybe covered with water when I was turning them. This is not that way because it's been a few weeks since it was felled. Probably about 2 months. So it's not quite as dramatic. I think I'm getting to the point. We'll probably have to go to a scraper here in a minute. Right here, I'm trying to gauge You want to get as much as you can out of a bowl, you know, in the process. Well, that really smoothed out a lot of that. But I still think I have ways to go down there. Well, that's the fun thing about the fun thing about free wood is you can take chances that you wouldn't if you were paying $20 or $30 for a piece of wood. Okay. Right in there. Now I'll get in there with the scraper. There we go. I think that just about gets me like this. All right, I know I'm being picky, but I just want to get a little bit more out of that corner. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. All right, I got a little bit more into that corner. Wow, really made it smooth on the bottom. This is a very tight grained wood. Even though it's a soft green wood, it's very tight grained. It turns really nicely. I think I'll just give it a little bit of a finish scraping here, and then we'll just kind of call that good. Do a little sanding on it. And sorry for that. Okay. I think that's ready for sanding out and cleaning out, and we'll finish that bowl off. And we will pray for the next 6 weeks. See if it maintains its angles and so forth, and doesn't get too warped. Process. Let's start with this. Excuse me while I turn on this vacuum here. Of course, the battery dies out. Okay, let me switch to the next grid here. Now, see, it's a great possibility we could get a crack here. That's what I'm going to have to do in order to get. I'm going to put it in reverse. Something I'm noticing as I sand this is that that bottom very slightly raised. Let me see if I can clean that up just a little bit. Yeah, I think we got a raise out of there. Now I can go back and sand that out. I got most of that out. A little better. Okay. One more and I'll be finished with this. So just give me a shot here. I love this size bowl. I was saying I love this size bowl because it oh, yeah, I didn't realize I left my grinder on all this time. All that noise, I couldn't hear it. Okay. So what I like about this size bowl is that it it can be used for just so many different things. It's everything from a candy dish to a small fruit display or anything in between. So really could do almost anything with it. You know. So I really like that idea. Oops. Sorry, I had to adjust my screen here for just a second. Okay, so yeah, I know, Alex. I know I'm on early. I know you probably just woke up, right, Alex? This is one of those pieces of elm, Alex, that you and I picked up down the street, and this is the second turning of this green wood. Did the outside before, and then I had to knock the warp out of it today and return it. Oops. There we go. Have to get ahead of the grip. And you can see the colors in there are really quite pretty on the inside of this bowl. It does have a possibility of cracking with these radials coming off of that little limb piece. So that's something I'm going to have to really keep an eye on as we're drying this. That's why I'm kind of giving it really good feeding. As this will be the third coat on the outside here. And the thing about tung oil is it builds up. It sucks in and dries. You wipe it off. You keep doing it basically until it stops sucking more in. So you wipe off the excess, and that gives you your finish. And you can still go over a tung oil with another finish, like an enamel or something, if you want to do, or a lacquer of some sort. But I don't think I want to put this in a gloss category, although it does look pretty nice glossy. And I got to allow it to breathe a little bit. And I've left us enough room that if I need to go through and give it a slight turn to adjust for something, I can still do that. But like I said, it was 23%, 22%, I'm sorry, of water still in this wood, even when I got inside. And I'm going to let that soak for a minute. I'll catch up with you guys a little bit here. I'm going to put this on a very slow turn. Looks kind of nice when it's turning, doesn't it? Okay. So that's a pretty nice bowl. I think it's going to look really good once I have it um, finished. Nice little bowl. Let me turn this on and wipe that off a little bit. Speed a little bit. Okay. What do you think? We'll take that off and I'll show you a little bit closer. There's the colors. I'll bring it up here for you. There's the outside of the bowl. It looks pretty nice. I love this ripple right in here. I think that's a nice contoured bowl, and yeah, I think we can call that one done for now. We'll just hope that it doesn't warp too much on the other end. Now, when I get into this, and I know there's only a few of you watching right now. That's fine. We already hit our 5 million views last week, and whoa, let me give you an update on that. The members that were in here, that 2 people contacted me for a free pen. So instead of choosing a winner between the 2, I'm giving both of them a pen since they were the only 2 that wrote into me. Those guys, I've already contacted them by email, and I actually made both yesterday, but to be honest with you, I screwed up the assembly of one of them, and I had to throw the pen away, which was kind of a shame because it was a really pretty walnut. It was a really pretty walnut, and would have made a nice pen, but unfortunately broke the other piece to this, and it's just not retrievable. So I'm going to have to make a new one. But you can see it had some really nice color to it. So I already told him I'll be making another one for that. But yeah, enjoy doing that. So we're going to probably do something like that again soon. Yeah, you're going to have to do a green turning, Alex, of that wood. There's a process to it. I'm sure you're aware of that. Now, during my destruction of my front yard this week, they tore everything out. Part of what they tore out was a diseased plum tree. I had 2 beautiful plum trees, but one of them got bugs into it. It's diseased, and so it had to come down. So we cut out the trunk, about 2.5, 3 feet of the trunk, and I cut myself some pieces from that. And, here's a couple of them. Got this little platter and this great big one here. But we also had all pieces like this because it was twisted. The way it grew, it twisted as it grew. And so there's a lot of wood that just isn't very substantial. So you get a lot of this. This is only 3 days old, and look at the cracks in it. These cracks were actually in it the minute we cut it. The release of the stress just popped it right away. So it's not because of drying or anything else. It was just because of this.
Talking to yourself?
Talking to myself, yeah. Well, so let's just see what this says. It says 8.3. So this was a somewhat dead tree already because it only had 8% water in it.
What's it supposed to have?
It should have about 20-25% brand new. So that's part of the issue here, is this was already dried out. Okay. So I'm not even sure I could turn this piece without it just disintegrating, because you see these cracks go all the way through. So this is probably a lost piece. But here's another piece. This looked like it was going to be really good, but look what it's done in 2 days. In 2 days, it's done this. And again, it's very dry. So, live piece of wood, it was still a live tree, but dead at the same time. And so that's what happened. So instead of being able to save some of this really pretty wood, I don't know how much of it I'm going to be able to retrieve. I have one nice piece here and a couple nice pieces here. So we're going to give it a shot. We're going to try turning it. And I'm going to treat it like it's already dried wood, because that's kind of what it is. Boy, this is heavy. This is a good 15 pounds, this piece right here. That's a lot of weight on the lathe. I'm going to try this piece first, simply get a feel for the wood. We can make a little platter out of this and see how it turns. I have no idea. I don't turn plum. I've turned fruit tree wood before, lots of different fruit trees, but never plum, I don't think. So it's going to be a little bit of an experience as we go along here. Okay. Put a couple of my tools back where they belong. And you see this one's already cracking right here. So I'm not sure what we're going to be able to do with that also. This might be a very small plate by the time we're done with it. But, you know, we'll try. We'll try. Okay, let me get my mask on here. Okay. The mask. On. Okay, let's turn this on. Get up to some speed. I don't want a big large piece. It pulled right off the screws. So this is very soft wood in some ways, because it pulled all 4 screws right out just by hitting it. That's interesting. I've never had that happen with a piece of wood before like that. Pulled all 4 out, and these are not short screws. They were in a good 3/4 of an inch or more, and you don't want to go much further than that because it'd be into the bottom of the bowl. But just took them right out. So the center of this is really, really soft. So not sure what I'll be able to do with that. We'll see. That's okay. I'll try a different piece. Got a piece right here of this plum. And we'll put it on here. Let's see what happens. And this is not a center piece, so it should be a little bit stronger. I'm just trying to get a gauge for the wood. It happens. Okay. I hope that grips. If it doesn't, I got a really big curve worry about that big piece. Okay, so we'll give this another shot. There we go. Okay, we'll go very slow first. Keeping one eye on the screws. this over to the bandsaw and rounded it off. I'm just kind of getting a feel for the line. Pretty hard. I'm going to go up to about 800 RPM. And see how close I do it. So I took out a flat spot. It's going to be a very small bowl, obviously. How close am I getting? A little flat there. Getting there, getting there. I'm going to start. I'm starting to make a little bit of a shape here too. So, almost there. Okay. I'm going to fix the bottom here first. Just try and get that flattened out. Keep hitting that crack. I'm going to try and work around that crack as much as I can. No guarantees, but let's see what we can do. tenon and go from there, I think. So, trying to minimize that crack as much as I can. Okay. See how that wraps up. You can see this is really, I get this some really wet wood. I can feel it. It's much stiffer than that other wood I was turning. This is very grainy. It doesn't compact at all. It's very grainy. It's very stiff. This one is a lot different than the other stuff that we've been turning. The elements we were turning. A lot different. Okay. So, put this in here. Put it in here. We are close, but not quite there. Okay. A little bit wider. That fits in there. Okay. Good. I'm going to have to fix this crack a little bit. I think I'm going to have to use C8 glue to do it. A little bit of spray. It's still at a point where we can fix it and clean it out. Just got to be able to get the top off first so we can do the glue. There we go. Okay. A little bit more here. I know it says medium, but it sure plays like thin. It rolls right out. Okay. Let that sit on that track. Okay. We'll clean up the outside here, and then we can do some sanding and turn this thing around and get it going. Okay, looks like we got any residual glue off of there. To be able to sand the rest of that off. Okay. I like to get my tools put away. I think I can bring that a little bit closer. Yeah. That helps at all. And sander here. Turn on my dust collector here real quick. Almost polished like that. Great mix. See how it's looking, we put a little finish on it. Color's going to come out nice on this. Yeah, it's very pretty. Now I did cut a bunch of these smaller pieces. I even made some for pens that would be interesting to see how they do as a pen stock. They had a real pretty color to them. I think we minimized that crack a little bit. We'll hopefully see when we get to the inside. Just keep out a little bit of this. It has some spots where it dries up right away, and it's got parts where it doesn't soak in, so we'll just keep spreading it around. This is just tung oil with a little bit of orange oil mixed in. Makes for a really good finish. And I mix it myself all the time. Instead of paying somebody else to do it. It's a pretty basic recipe. So that's the finish right now. There's a lot of the blonde spots and the dark spots and in between. Kind of nice. Hello to Kelly. And hey, Eric. I was showing everybody what your pen would have looked like. Here, let me. If you missed it, I'll show you what the walnut pen would have looked like if I hadn't screwed it up. It has a nice little stripe. I will be making another one for you. Eric is one of the two winners of our drawing. And sorry about that, Eric, but check your emails. I did send you one. Let's get this turned around. And looks like I'm going to have to replace this seal too. It's getting worn. Yeah, see it tore out a little bit right here. Just trying to replace that seal. Easy to do. There we go. That's all it took. Get it on there. Now let's get the trusty drill. I'll take this out. Like I said, sometimes when you're in that punky wood, like we were on that little platter, as soon as it's coming right out, not much we do about that. It was at best an experimental piece to begin with. And we learned. So there we go. Now I want to make sure I know where that crack is. looks good. Should hold while we do this bowl. Gonna have to lower this. Okay. I think we can lower that down just a little bit. Okay. It's making nice ribbons, and boy, are they wet. Those are wet ribbons. So this was a wet part of the tree as earlier, and that's what we wanted to find out. Just, yeah, it's almost 25%. See there? Percent. This is very wet wood. So that kind of changes how I want to do this. I don't think I want to make this too thin on the edge right now because I might have to go back and return this. So we'll kind of take it easy on that. Yeah, you can almost squeeze water out of that. I'm going to save all this, and I'm going to use that to wrap this in as it dries out. I also don't want that crack to get any bigger. So I'm trying to manage this just a little bit. So let me look here real quick. There's the crack. So we're just about coming up on it here. Let's see what happens when we get near it. I would say it's a pleasure to turn this so far. That's the nice thing about green wood. It is very pleasurable to turn. Now again, that crack is right here. I don't see it on the inside here, which is good. I'm going to widen this out just a little bit. Okay, let's see how deep we are. We are right to here. So we're pretty much as deep as we're going to get. So I'm just going to kind of clean this up a little bit right now. And then we're just going to finish it. We're just going to leave it dry some more because it is very wet. Okay. I don't need to really give it any kind of a real sanding right now, but I will give it a little cut. Just so you can get a feel for what the bowl's going to look like. All right. And we'll put a little bit of that finish on the inside. Then I'm going to take it and put it away to do its drying. Okay. Get this off again. We'll be able to give it a chance to dry a little more, or dry out some. Always make sure you shake good every time. It's a good habit to be in for all your finishes, even if you don't think they need it, because they probably do. There's probably more than one ingredient in most of your finishes, and they do need to be mixed. Okay, so we got that, and no sign of that that crack on the inside. And since we dealt with it on the outside, so far, it's not an issue. Now, as it dries, it could become an issue again. It's still sucking in a lot of this tongue oil. It's a very pretty piece, a little bit like a cypress piece or something like that, with those different colors and shades to it. Okay, you're replying as we speak, Eric. Thank you. Okay. I know we don't have a lot of people in here this morning. I'm sure they're doing a lot of fun things, getting ready for Father's Day, or working around the house, or trying to get things done early before it gets too freaking hot out, or waiting for the next thunderstorm to come. It's kind of weird weather all over the place right now. we've been having a span of 100-degree days while the guys are out there working in my yard, rebuilding the landscaping. They're pouring concrete everywhere in 100-degree heat. And of course, you want to make sure that it cures and doesn't crack. So we have to keep watering it. And then the wind picks up. And they put a dust stain on the concrete, stamped it. Well, you don't want the wind to blow away any of that stain because the wax stain stains everything. You want it on your feet. It stays while it's curing on the concrete. The guys are using our live again. Ah, okay, you're back. Good. Sorry, as I was saying, guys are working out. We're working out this week in the 100-degree heat in the landscaping, and here it cooled down to about yesterday. Oh, what's going on? I don't know why we keep losing signal and then going back and losing signal going back. It's weird. Yeah, hot there too. I know. In some parts, getting a lot of tornadoes, and there's that tropical or whatever it is, Andrew or Alex or whatever it's called. No, I keep seeing the signal going on and off and on and off. I hope it's okay. Yeah, high humidity also. That doesn't help either. Yeah, yeah, high humidity. Okay, well, let's take before we lose signal again. And here looks like so far. Obviously, we're going to need to let it dry, and then we're going to have to go back and return it because I've only got it turned down to about here, and I can go down another about a quarter of an inch. It's a little bit more. So I'm just kind of letting this dry a little bit. Oh, Arthur, thank you. That's what it's called. Okay, yeah, I should have done that. I'm a big King Arthur fan. So anyway, so yeah, so we'll let this. I'll put this probably in the microwave and try and dry it out. Happens in a week or two, and then maybe put it back on here before it gets too warped. Finish it off, and it'll be a nice little bowl for somebody. I mean, it's nice. It's really small compared to the one we did before that. This was elm, and this is plum. So a lot of differences in the woods. This one I'm hoping I can keep right here. This could radial crack very easily. So I'm trying to keep an eye on that also. So I got a couple pieces that I really got to worry about as I'm doing this. In here, and I'll put this in here. And then I'm going to take both of them and I'll put them in a bag temporarily. They don't dry out too quickly because I'm drying out and twisting too quickly because you just released a lot of them. Okay, so take this off again. All right, I have another green piece here that I've been letting sit and dry for a few weeks. kind of can see where it's at. It's on the outside and 16% here in the center. So it is semi-green, but not completely green. And I think it has not worked noticeably, but let's see. A little bit. I don't think I had it completely in round to begin with. But yeah, it worked just a little bit, it looks like. Okay, well, good. We'll be able to knock that warp right out of it. And clean this up, I think. Let me get my helmet and we'll get started on it. Third bullet of the day. Well, third goal we're trying to complete today. Speed up a little. Put a little shape to this one. Just want to kind of get it round first. Okay, let me do an angle here. Okay, now I can go a little shaping with my scraper. More active with it. I think I need to straighten this backside first. All right. Use this. It'll tear out right there. And that's the problem that you have with wet wood. You get the tear out. The rip instead of cut. That's pretty good. We got a tiny crack there. I don't think it's going to be a big issue. But on a flat surface now, I can go back and make this a little bit here that I want to make. That seems to be about as best as it's going to do. I got some sort of stem core coming right here and right here. Two different stems coming into this that are going to cause a lot of trouble with this piece of wood. I can just see it. So I need to pick up the speed. The branches cause all sorts of cracking with this. A little smoother. Okay. Right. Now, we'll get that tenon going. Actually, meanwhile, I'm just going to put a little bit of wood glue in here, if I can. My wood glue has been giving me trouble lately. Just brush across the grain. It'll work its way into the wood a little bit. The moment it disappears, of course, it's not going to fix the crack permanently, but it'll make it disappear for a while. You don't even. Where was the crack? Anybody see it? Right here, of course. Basically makes it all almost disappear. As long as the cracks aren't too big. Alright, so we'll let that dry just a little bit. Absorb the wood. And we'll start putting a tenon on here. May need to go a little bit further out, but you can see how this is right now. We're almost right there. The hard part's getting a nice clean cut here because it is a really softish wood. Getting a really clean cut. And one that'll hold. That's a cleaner cut. This is a little bit like pine. You could tear out at any time. Beautiful piece of wood, and we could get tear out at any time. So I'm going to get just a little tiny bit deeper. Not much. Make sure it's nice and clean. Okay. Nice and clean. Alright. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a little CA glue in there just to tighten it up, make sure that it stays strong as best we can. Got a little glue brush here. Okay. Love these little Harbor Freight acid brushes or glue brushes, whatever you want to call them. Trying to strengthen that wood fiber a little bit on the bottom here. I really don't trust that wood. It's got too much tear out going for it. It may not hold very well. Back in the refrigerator with you. Okay. Have a little chance to for the glue to dry on the wood glue, and get it standing. Let me turn this on for just a minute. Switch to another grit. Okay, one more grit, and then we're going to put a little finish. You're going to see that it's correct. That was just a real quick sanding, but that is really smooth. It's a very tight grain on this. Very, very tight grain. We're going to put some more finish on this one, like we did on the other one. Seem to be pushing the tongue out of it. And we do have a connection on our channel for getting this tongue oil. If you want it, I haven't put it on the script. I haven't put it on here yet because we had to switch. Our original live was somehow interrupted by a circle of death, so we had to switch to this one. I didn't have a chance to set it up with products and all, but in the description areas, or if you go to our other videos, you can see the descriptions where you can get 100% tongue oil. Girls haven't said anything for a long time, but if you'd like to hit the like button, I'd appreciate it, or subscribe. We're still trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. We're not quite there yet. So if you could help us get to 5,000 subscribers, that would really be great. We're at about 4870 something right now. We're only about 130 subscribers away. So if you could find it in your heart to subscribe, that would really be helpful right now. If we're putting all this on for the last 2 hours or more, maybe you guys could, reciprocate a little bit. That would be nice. But at least hit the like button if you could, if you're enjoying what you're watching. If you're not enjoying it, then tell me in the comment section, hey, I don't like what I'm watching. You know? We'll try to up here. If you don't like it, just tell us what you don't like. Maybe we can fix it. Maybe we can't. But if you're getting some entertainment out of it, I'd appreciate the like. It does help the channel. It does help the algorithms. Even though we're not getting a large number of people today, but we're getting a very tiny number of people today for some reason. I think the most people I've seen here all day was 50. We used to see 500 in here. But the viewing has really gone down on YouTube. There's not as many people watching YouTube as there used to be. And if you're a YouTube stockholder, you should be concerned about that. I think they cut off their best sources of revenue by pushing short attention span videos instead of ones that actually spend some time teaching people something. You know? If you want to teach people something, you need more than 3 minutes. That's just my little personal opinion on the whole subject. But okay, well, you see this. We're gonna have to let this dry out just a little bit more. Actually, I'm gonna leave that on. We're gonna have to let this dry out just a little bit more before I can get inside, because I do have concerns. But so I'm gonna let this sit for a few days, and we'll probably turn this next week sometime. But you see the crack, and you see what we did to the crack, so it's not noticeable. Okay, right in here, and also the other one. Where'd the other one go? It's right here, I guess. The other one right here, and the crack across here. That was pretty prominent right in here, and we made it pretty much go away. This is going to be a very pretty piece of wood if we can get it turned, but I don't want those for it to turn and get really dried out, or really cracked or something like that as it dries out. So I think the smart thing to do with this, because it's still at 25%, is to leave this shape, let it dry some more, and then put it back on like we did with the other ones. We're going to have a whole bunch of second turning of greens here pretty soon on the program. But I want to bury this. I want to bury this with some sawdust. It's not affected too much by the heat and the weather. Guys, I think this is going to be it for today. We've turned three bowls, and just kind of wanted to get back on here. I know normally we do Fridays, but because they cut my cable line during the construction, that got moved. And hopefully we'll have another live. We should have another live next Friday at our normal time, which is noon. And I hope you guys can make it for that. Yeah, that's why. Well, Gen Xers are over in the spring. Well, also because Gen Xers understand wood turning a little bit more than people before that. When you get past that, they don't even know what wood comes from. They see a tree and they go, "What's that?" So, There are some young turners out there. There are some young woodworkers out there. They're few and far between. And mostly of the time, they are turners because they're workers because their dad was a woodworker. Okay, and that's what spawned it. But I think we're going to go ahead and call it a day for now, guys. I do appreciate y'all being in here, but I do have to get on with the rest of my day, and got a couple of medical things coming up. Don't want to get into them right now. One of them could be very serious, so I don't want to talk to you about it right now. But I'll keep you up to date on what's going on. Oh, Whacking Shack is here. You're only 4G. You're only 4G. Well, you're more than me at the moment because I keep getting circles of death and stuff, Mike. Oh, you mean 4,000? No, you got more than that. You got 6. You got 6,000 subscribers. Mike's got some big news coming up that he told us the other day. And Mike at the Whacking Shack, you need to check him out. He's going to be giving us some big news. His sponsors have come through for him a little bit. I think there's going to be some additions to his shop. It's my guess, Mike. But please check him out. And Mike, are you going to go live today, or are you going to wait till tomorrow? Father's Day tomorrow, so I didn't know if you're going to do a Sunday Spunday tomorrow. Want to let us know? Cleaning the shop today. Okay, so no live today, I guess. But are you going to do one tomorrow? We'll probably go live sometime soon. Okay, great. So check out the Whacking Shack. Timber Design said he was going to be doing something this weekend too, or putting out a couple of videos. So check his. I did put out a new pinned video from Strong Ink, and I've got another one coming. I didn't want to put out the video where I screwed up Eric's pen for him, so I threw that. I got rid of that one. I didn't post it. So, yeah, anybody, guys, we'll talk to you soon. I really appreciate you all being in here today. I'll show you those bowls one more time, just so you can. Well, I can't show you the bowls. What am I saying? I've already buried them. I can't show you the bowls. You'll have to go back in the video and look. So, just trust me. But we got three bowls going, and they're all in the second stage of grain recovery. So I'll microwave a couple. I'll leave a couple in the sawdust, and I'll report back on what worked and what didn't work. Okay. So we'll talk to you guys probably early next week sometime. Not sure when, but maybe a Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll see. Thanks.